Imagine a future where every individual is graded on points. If you help your neighbor, donate your money, or praise your government, you'll gain points. However, if you're a bad driver, post fake news, or criticize your government, you'll lose points. And if you lose too many points, then you can be fined, jailed, and even killed. This Orwellian future is a reality for the Chinese people at this very moment. And if we're not careful, a similar system may be coming to the United States. So here in the next few minutes, I'll be defining the Chinese social credit system, how it controls China, and how the social credit system is threatening the United States. SCMP.com defines the social credit system as a set of system databases that monitor and assess both individuals and companies using data gathered from criminal, financial, and government records. The social credit system also monitors individuals' social media activity, academic records, traffic violations, employment performances, consumption of food and drink, and even friend groups using various surveillance methods. So, how does the Chinese social credit system control the Chinese people? The Chinese Communist Party has attempted to control and suppress their people for decades, and now have the perfect system in place to do just that. These system databases themselves are not actually monitored by the Chinese Communist Party, but are instead controlled by various groups, such as the National Development and Reform Commission, the People's Bank of China, as well as the court system, which all report to the government. The social credit system began its first trials as early as 2009. It was continually modified up until its full implementation in 2014. Since then, it has only become more and more suppressive. According to wiredcode.uk, every Chinese company is given a unified social credit code, and all individual citizens receive an identity number which is linked to a permanent record. Both individuals and companies start out with 1,000 social credit points, and they can gain or lose these points from there. The government rewards good behavior with various incentives, such as lower interest rates, cheaper and more luxurious transportation, and even skipping hospital waiting lines. However, bad behavior can result in some serious punishment. For companies, this might include higher inspection rates, targeted audits, denial of land use rights, as well as losing all benefits. Individuals can lose the right to public transportation, be denied loans, face wrongful imprisonment, and even be killed. Heritage.org says that if your social credit score is too low or you commit a major offense, almost all of your rights can be taken away in a process called blacklisting. It is nearly impossible for individuals and companies who have been blacklisted to get their names cleared and to receive back their rights. One such example of this is of a journalist named Liu Hu, who wrote about the censorship and government corruption that is occurring in the Chinese Communist Party. He was arrested, fined, and blacklisted. He is now no longer qualified to purchase plane tickets, travel on trains, buy property, or take out loans. Stories like this are becoming more and more frequent in China, and if we're not careful, a similar system may be coming to the United States. So, how is the social credit system threatening the United States? As of right now, the U.S. government is restricted from imposing a social credit criteria due to the representative lawmaking and the constitutional liberties that we possess. Instead, most social credit agendas will be making their way through the private sector, using tools such as banks, insurance companies, and tech companies. One such tool that banks are beginning to use is called an ESG score. According to ESG The Report, the acronym ESG stands for Environmental, Social, and Governance Factors. Banks are beginning to use this to determine a company's environmental impact, human rights activity, as well as political contributions. And if you do not follow their very strict guidelines, then you can be at risk of losing a loan. Some examples of businesses being denied loans include not having enough board members that are women or minorities, regardless of qualifications, exceeding certain carbon emissions limits, not supporting LGBTQ rights, and donating to the wrong political campaigns. While the ESG score is one way to implement a social credit system in the US, it is far from the only way. The Epoch Times reports that there are several companies that have begun developing social credit related technology. For example, Doconomy has partnered with MasterCard to create a credit card that tracks your individual carbon footprint from all of your purchases and will even cut off spending if you hit a certain emissions limit. And Alibaba, a company that works directly with the Chinese Communist Party social credit system, is currently in development of an individual carbon footprint tracker that takes what you purchase to determine what you eat and how and where you travel. Alibaba plans to globalize this system and will provide various incentives for those who comply and make good decisions. Sound familiar? In conclusion, we now know what the Chinese social credit system is and how dangerous it can be if it is implemented into the United States. The totalitarian regime that controls China may seem like a far way off compared to the US, but if we're not careful, the social credit system that China is under very well may find its way here. Thank you.